Let's pick up where we left off. If we kind of take a look at the last team Amorim named on Friday, just tell us how you think this system could fit at Old Trafford.
Yeah, well, there's some really interesting players in here that deserve a little bit of a shout-out. So players like Dino Zabas was signed from Anderlecht. Araujo, their left wing-back, was signed from Liga MX in Mexico. Usman Diomande from Midtjylland in Denmark. Inacio's a Sporting CP academy graduate. Same with Braganca. Quenda was signed as a youngster from Benfica. He's now just 17 and he's been given a chance as their right wing-back. He's much more of a natural winger. Araujo's more of a left-back as well, so that might be interesting to see whether, when he arrives at Man United, he goes with more of a natural winger on one side and more of a natural full-back on the other. But you look at particularly some of the players that he's improved since being there. Gonzalo Inacio, Diomande, now valued at over 40 million euros. Haaland was signed from Lecce, had 1 year in Serie A, one exceptional year in Serie A, with them 1 year in Serie B. Pote down there, he was at Wolves originally, then had to go to Famalicão, had 1 year there. He's been at Sporting CP for the last 4 or 5 years. He's averaged over 15 goals per season in that time. Trincão was a wonder kid at Braga, got bought to Barcelona, was given a 500 million euro buyout clause, only lasted 1 year there, then went to Wolves as well, now at Sporting CP, and we know all about Gyokeres. So the point is that they haven't necessarily signed superstars. He's made players that he signed from Anderlecht, Denmark, Mexico, Wolves, a failure there, Barcelona eventually going back to Wolves as well. Players that were really struggling where they were, he's made them into a team and a unified team that has really swept all before them this year in Portugal. So if he can improve Man United's players, and I think it's difficult to argue too many Man United players have improved in the last 10 years, that will stand him in really good stead. Yeah,
and in the past week or so, a lot has been said about this 3-4-3 formation, as it's written there, 3-4-2-1 formation. So that much of the focus, though, has been on this, on the back three. But what about the front line and the importance of them to this shape and in relation to what we'll see at Old Trafford?
Well, it's interesting that, I've already touched on the fact that it's a really low crossing team, which you probably wouldn't expect for a side that plays wing-backs, but they rank 14 out of 18 sides in Portugal for crosses, but second for passes into the box behind Benfica. And that's because Trincão and Pote are ball-to-feet players. They love playing just outside the box, intricate passing around there and leaving or putting the ball through for Victor Gyokeres to run in behind, who profiles much like Rasmus Haaland. Haaland's not at his level just yet, but is a last shoulder defender, attacker running in behind, causing a lot of pace and a lot of issues for their attacking players. In terms of who suits this most, Pote, a right-footed creator, really good creative numbers. In that position, feels like a Bruno Fernandes style of position. Trincão is a left-footed right winger by trade, now playing a little bit more inverted. That feels more like Amad Diallo. And of course, he'll assess the squad and the players that he has at his disposal when he arrives. But it does feel like that suits Amad Diallo. It does feel like that suits Bruno Fernandes. So Garnacho and Rashford, actually in this formation, are the players I'm most worried about, particularly Marcus Rashford, who, given everything he's achieved for Man United and England over the last 5 years, might not be up for playing the Araujo left wing-back role and having to be way more disciplined defensively than he's ever shown at Old Trafford. So that's going to be something that's going to be really interesting to see when he picks that first 11 against Ipswich.
Gyokeres, you've mentioned a few times, key. One of the eagerly anticipated matchups tonight, we'll see him up against Erling Haaland. So how do they compare?
Well, it's an absolutely amazing turnaround from Victor Gyokeres. It wasn't long ago that he was at Brighton, made only 8 appearances for the club, then was sent on 3 loan spells in 2 seasons to St Pauli, to Swansea, to Coventry, has an amazing time at Coventry, and then arrives at Sporting CP. And this is since the start of last season. 43 games, 45 goals. That is an absolutely unbelievable record. The assist there too, phenomenal. And it feels like right now he is one of the most complete strikers in Europe. His dribbling is absolutely unbelievable. He's got that physical capabilities that Haaland has as well, but can drag a lot wider as well. And here he comes against Erling Haaland. So we've got the Swede versus the Norwegian tonight. So I imagine Scandinavian viewing figures are going to be through the roof. But this is their form in the league and Champions League this season. 13 games, 18 goals for Gyokeres, more than Haaland in the same amount of games. Really, really impressive. And you look at the big chances scored, something that Haaland was accused of last year, not being his most clinical. Gyokeres tops him on that. Chances created, 4 times as many, and his shot conversion's been through the roof as well. He scored 4 goals at the weekend against the Strada Familiar, who are a lower league Portuguese side. I mean, they're 16th in the league. But for Gyokeres to grab 4 goals in that game, he comes in full of confidence. There's actually only one league game this season that he's yet to score in. Haaland's been struggling, blanking in the last few weeks, as every FPL owner knows. But do not write him off. Do not write him off at your peril. But Gyokeres is the man in form going into this time.